A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A plus English. That's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A plus way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A plus English.
Welcome back, everyone. Yesterday, we learned that Ethan and Evelyn were at an amusement park when Ethan said trees are practicing social distancing.
Yeah, that actually surprised Evelyn. She said trees can't move.
Yeah, right? And then she thought of trees walking all around and moving and maybe even lining up for different things. But then Ethan showed her a picture with gaps between tree crowns.
And that's how she learned about crown shyness. Trees naturally leave space at the top when they grow.
And maybe that's what my hair is doing. Since my hair is falling out, maybe I don't have enough. And they're trying to get more sun or more something like that.
So your hair is practicing social distancing.
Exactly. And getting back, it said she also found out that a tree's crown means the top part with leaves and branches, not a king's crown. But do you know what? In what kind of area do we see crown shyness most often?
Let's find out in today's article.
Crown shyness, the spaces between trees.
Crown shyness makes the tree crown look like a puzzle. Why does crown shyness happen with trees? There are a few hypotheses about it. Wind hypothesis. The wind makes trees' branches bump into each other and break, so trees keep away from their neighbors. We see this often in windy areas with many trees.
Crown shyness makes the tree crown look like a puzzle.
Wow, you're right. The gaps between the crowns really do look like puzzle pieces that almost fit but don't touch.
Yeah, that's right. Just like a puzzle. It's really interesting and cool how they can do this. But why do they do this? And it says, why does crown shyness happen with trees? There are a few hypotheses about it.
Hypothesis 指的是假说，所以代表科学家们呢还不能100%的确定原因。So scientists aren't completely sure yet, but they have some ideas, right?
Right. When we talk about like a hypothesis, it's more like we would say it's an educated guess. We have a good idea, but we're not quite sure if it's 100% correct or not, but it's a good educated guess.
So what's the first hypothesis?
We would say wind hypothesis.
风力假说.
The wind makes trees' branches bump into each other and break.
风会让树枝彼此撞在一起，甚至折断。
Yeah, so it's like that noisy neighbor that you just want to kind of maybe get away from with playing too much music. And so it says, so trees keep away from their neighbors.
所以呢，树木会和邻居保持距离 just like social distancing. It's like the trees are protecting themselves by leaving a little space.
Oh, that's what I need. Sometimes when I'm in the MRT, I just need a little space, like a little bubble around me so everyone's not bumping their backpack into me, and that's kind of what the trees are doing. They're like, give me a little bit of space.
Exactly. 那我们这边看到的 keep 或是 stay away from somebody or something 是远离点点点，就是不要靠近某人或某物。所以像是我们可以说 Please stay away from the fire. 请远离火源。
And we often see this, or we see this often in windy areas with many trees.
我们常在有很多树、风又大的地方看到这种现象。所以在我们的一开始的时候 Adam 也问我了一个问题 In what kind of areas do we see crown shyness most often? 在哪个地区我们会很常看到这个树冠羞避的现象？ So, the answer is?
Well, I'm going to go back with our wind hypothesis and say in windy areas with many trees.
没错。The stronger the wind, the more space trees need to stay safe.
Bingo.
所以呢，风大的地方，好，就会看到这种现象。好，今天前半部的第一个重要单字是 puzzle 这个名词，指的是拼图。A jigsaw puzzle 指的就是一个拼图游戏。那如果我们要解谜题的话，谜题这个名词也可以用 puzzle 来代替。然后呢，我们就说 solve a puzzle。那另外呢 puzzle 你字尾加上 d 把它变成形容词，我们还可以用 be puzzled about 后面加上名词或是句子，可以来表示某人对某件事感到困惑或不明白。比如说 She was puzzled about the strange noise 她对那个奇怪的声音感到困惑。那单字例句给的是呢 Putting together this puzzle helps you make a picture of a cat将这幅拼图拼起来，你就可以制作出一张猫的图片。接下来第二个是个片语 bump into something 是碰到或是撞到。如果你后方直接加上物品，那就表示你不小心撞到某个东西。For example, she bumped into the door 她撞到了门。那如果 bump into 后面加的是人的话，那表示你巧遇这个人哦。For example, I bumped into my teacher at the supermarket. 我在超市巧遇了老师。那单字例句给的是呢 Birds can bump into windows and hurt themselves easily while they fly. 鸟儿飞行的时候可能会撞上窗户，并容易因此受伤。好啦，看完了两个单字 Let's get back to the article.
Light hypothesis. Trees grow toward the sun's light. When they get too close to their neighbors, they get less light. So trees leave a gap to stay away from the shade. Insect and illness hypothesis. Dangerous germs and insects that cause damage can spread between trees. So trees keep gaps to stop this spread.
So everyone, we know our first hypothesis about crown shyness, and we found out it's the wind hypothesis, which it makes tree branches, stay away from each other, stay away from their neighbors. But now we're going to look at our second hypothesis, which is light hypothesis.
阳光假说
Trees grow toward the sun's light. When they get too close to their neighbors, they get less light.
当树木长得太靠近其他的树的时候，它们就会获得比较少的阳光。那我们这边看到的 get close to 指的是靠近或是接近，我们可以是把它用来当作实体或是抽象都可以。如果是实体上的话，表示人或物在空间上移动接近另一个东西。比如说 The dog gets close to the door when it wants to go out. 狗狗想出门的时候会靠近门。那如果是抽象的用法呢，那就是关系上面的接近，表示在情感啦或是人际关系上面变得亲近。For example, I've gotten really close to my classmates this year. 今年我和同学们变得很亲近，好，关系上面可能越来越熟啦之类的。
Just like our cat, when our cat wants to wake us up in the morning and get its food, it'll jump on our bed and get close to us and just meow, meow, meow for more food and does not shut up.
No, he doesn't. And especially to your face.
Exactly. Right on my face. He gets so close and it becomes so annoying. All right. Well, so we know about the light hypothesis now. So getting back to that, so trees leave a gap to stay away from the shade.Shade
这个名词指的是阴影处，所以树木会留出空隙，以避免落入阴影当中。因为如果它们到了 shade 阴影里面的话，就得不到充足的阳光了。
Especially in Taiwan summers when it's super hot and you just need to find somewhere where that sun is not shining, you might need to run over to a tree, under a tree, and get some shade.
Right, but trees don't want that shade, right?They don't want to stay in the shade. They want more sunlight.
They want the most sunlight. All right, now let's take a look at our third hypothesis. It says insect and illness hypothesis.
虫害假说。那这边我们看到的 illness 它是疾病的意思。
That's the sickness, right? So our article says dangerous germs and insects that cause damage can spread between trees.Germ
这个名词是病菌或是细菌，有害的细菌和昆虫会在树木之间传播。
Just like the hospital, people kind of stay away from each other. You don't get so close at the hospital when you're sick. Everyone's wearing masks so they don't get germs or an infection. And I guess trees are doing the same thing. I didn't know trees could be this smart. I always just kind of thought of them as big
trees.
Well, trees, big plants, I guess. I never really thought too much about trees. All right, so trees keep gaps to stop this spread.
我们这边看到的 spread 是名词的用法，代表的是疾病的蔓延或是扩散。那它也可以当作动词使用哦，就是使疾病等蔓延或是传播，比如说 the virus spread quickly between people， 病毒在人与人之间迅速传播，这个就是动词的用法。好啦，所以我们的课文说到，透过保持一点距离，树木也许能降低生病或是被害虫攻击的风险哦。
Now Ethan and Evelyn are resting on a bench under a big tree, looking pretty comfortable, learning so much about crown shyness.And Ethan says, trees aren't really shy. They're just keeping themselves safe and healthy.
对，树木其实不是真的害羞，他们只是想要保护自己 just like humans, right? Just like us. 让自己保持健康是最重要的。
So when I'm playing video games in the other room and you come in and you say, hey, I want to play with you too. And I say, I can't play this game with you because, I have maybe video game shyness and I'm trying to protect myself and you, just like the trees are, by social distancing. Does that work? Would you say, okay, I think, Adam, that's a good idea?
Yeah, so you're as smart as those trees are.
Okay, I'm as smart as a tree is what you're saying? Oh, wow. All right.
好，来我们看到今天下半部的单字有 toward， 好，这个介系词代表的是朝向。第一个我们可以让它表示方向移动的目标，比如说 the kids run toward the playground， 孩子们跑向游乐场，或者是第二种可以是态度或是感觉的对象，也就是说 he has a kind attitude toward animals， 他对动物很友善。好，所以可以是这个方向或是移动的目标，也可以是态度或感觉的对象。再来还有一个是时间上面的接近。It started to get dark toward evening， 接近傍晚时天开始变暗。好，所以这个就是时间上面的接近。那单字例句给的是呢 Ian's dog always runs toward the door when someone knocks on it。 当有人敲门的时候 Ian 的狗总是会跑向门口。那接下来今天最后一个单字是 damage 这个名词，它不可数，表示损害或是伤害，可以搭配的动词有 cause 或是 do。 好，我们可以说 cause or do damage to somebody or something， 那就是对某人某物造成损害或是伤害。那如果你要把这个伤害再形容的严重一点，我们还可以放 serious， 好，在 damage 的前方来修饰它。所以呢，给同学们一个例句了，就是呢 Insects can do damage to the leaves， 昆虫可能会破坏树叶。那另外呢 damage 也可以当动词使用哦，指的就是损害或是破坏。For example, too much sun can damage your skin， 晒太久太阳会伤害皮肤。那单字例句给的是 Peter checked around the building for damage after an earthquake. 地震之后 Peter 查看大楼周围是否有损坏。好啦，看完单字，我们要到 review time 去了。Let's go to review time.
Review time.
All right, everyone, it's our review time, and I'm going to ask some questions to Elsie, and Elsie's going to answer my questions, and then she's going to ask me questions, and I'm going to try my best to get the correct answer. But, you know, some of these questions might be a little bit hard, but we'll try our best.
Are they about tree shyness, crown shyness?
Yes, they're about crown shyness. They're not about anything else. We're not talking about Pokemon here, so we're talking about
Crown shyness.
Crown shyness and the spaces between the trees. All right, question 1, Elsie. What do scientists call a possible explanation that hasn't been proven?
还没有证实的，这个叫做假说。英文是 hypothesis.
Ding, ding, ding. You got it, right? An educated guess is a hypothesis. Question 2. Are trees really shy, Elsie?
No, they're not shy. They're just protecting themselves, just like you do.
All right.
You're never shy.
I'm never shy. I'm shy all the time. All right, moving on to number 3, everyone. What causes branches to break?
让树枝断裂的原因。What causes branches to break? The wind makes the branches bump into each other and break.
That's right. They crack and break. How about you throw me a question, Elsie?
Okay. Here's this question. How do the gaps help stop the spread of germs and insects?
Okay. Well, the space makes it harder for them to travel from one tree to another. So the germs or the insects can't jump between each tree and then give them sickness or an illness.
Good job. And here's the last one.
Okay.
What do trees gain by staying apart at the top?
Well, what do they gain by staying apart at the top? So at the crown part of the tree? Well, they stay safe, get more sunlight, and avoid spreading insects or germs.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes.
OK， 所以呢，借由我们的 review time， 我们也复习了这2天的课文咯。那今天的节目就讲到这边啦。想要观看更多精彩内容，请到 YouTube channel 搜寻 A+ English 空中美语，也别忘了按赞、订阅、开启小铃铛哦。So for A+ English, this is Elsie.
And this is Adam.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.